Hey there, pretty people, and welcome back to another episode of Enigmatica 6 Experts. Last episode, we tackled Ars Nouveau's source generation, as well as stockpiled a lot of source, and today, we're going to spend that source on wizardry. So as always, a quick recap section. So first, I upgraded the power system. Now it includes 3 Stirling Dynamos working at 120% efficiency, so this way I will have to burn less wood. I've also upgraded my machines to have these augments, so now they're running much faster while also remaining at roughly the same efficiency level. Another change I've made is to this storage area. So if you've noticed, I planted a lot of wheat, and so the wheat and seeds were overflowing my storage system, causing traffic ingestion. And to fix that, I've installed some upgrades to the drawers containing the wheat produce, and it is the void upgrade, which destroys excess items that enter the drawer. So, first task on the agenda is to craft an enchanting table. This is what we've been working so hard towards. Well, partially. So as you can see, most of its ingredients come from other magic mods, like this novice spellbook or this stone altar, which is craftable. So yeah, it wasn't easy, but now we have the ability to finally create the enchanting table. So first, we're gonna need to bring a lot of gold, because if you saw, we're gonna need some crying obsidian, and the only feasible way we can obtain some would be 1. To go to another bastion, or 2. Bartering with the piglins. And it may take a while as well as a lot of gold, so we better come prepared. Let's also make some more arrows because apparently I ran out of those. What a nice surprise! But that's okay because I have my flint and steel in my backpack. Woo! The power of portable storage. Okay, so don't mind the death point. That was when I came here for some glowstone, and some mosquitoes stung me to death. Wait, no, that was actually by lava. Okay, so we have the piglin here. Ooh, it gave me ender pearl and a lot of irrelevant stuff. If you take a look here, you can see that the piglin has quite a lot of stuff it can give you, so we might have to be... So we might have to stay here for a while, but good thing I have this leggings which prevents the piglins from attacking me. Now let's continue bartering with any one of them, and I'll get back to you guys when I finally got the... Oh my god, can you please stand still? Yeah, I'll get back to y'all when I finally got the crying obsidian. And there we have it. Exactly 2 crying obsidian blocks. And looks like our job here is done. Goodbye, piglins. Have fun fighting each other or fighting those. So let's get on with the other stuff. First, the novice spellbook. We've already crafted. Here we have it. And then the stone altar, which requires another lightning crafting. So and finally, we're gonna need another conduit. And now we have everything we need. Let's make our enchanting table. And we have completed the quest in this chapter. which gives me a few jaded books, whatever, don't care. So, a few things to notice about enchanting when you have a mod enabled called Apotheosis. This mod completely overhauls the enchanting system. So now, when you open the enchanting GUI, you can see there are 3 attributes: Eterna, Quanta, and Arcana. So you can pause the video to read through all of these, but to put it simple, Eterna equals to max enchanting level, Quanta equals the variation, like the variation between the lowest and the highest enchanting levels, and Arcana will increase the chances of getting rarer enchantments. So here we have 0 Eterna, so the levels of the enchantments that we can get won't be very high. We have some Quanta and some Arcana. All of these stats can be modified by certain environmental elements. That being said, nearby blocks. So you can search up these attributes using the JEI search bar, and everything that has an effect on that stat will show up. So we have the vanilla bookshelf increasing Eterna by 1, and 1 Eterna would equal to max enchanting levels. So if you have 7.5 Eterna, then effectively that should equal to level 15 max enchantment, and so on. You can take a look through everything and have fun with your enchantment setup. But for me, I've already have my favorite, which is right here. So if you look at this, the apparatus gives 3.5, the pedestals each give 1 Eterna, and the arcane core itself also gives 3.5 Eterna. So with my current setup, I should gain a total of 15 Eterna. So in order for these to actually empower my enchanting table, I had to rearrange them in a pretty funky formation. But that's just due to how the enchanting table usually works. All the enchanting stats boosters should be placed at least 1 block away from it. And as you saw over there, with this setup, the enchanting apparatus still works, so there's nothing to worry about. And now, we can enjoy our level 30 enchantments. And what I will do with this enchanting table is that I will try to get Silk Touch on my pickaxe, but I will handle that in between episodes. Now let's carry on to our next task. So in order to actually use magic in this mod, you're gonna need something called a glyph press. This is very easy to use, and the use of this glyph press is to craft, you guessed it, glyphs. These glyphs are one-time use, and once you use them, they will unlock their effect. So realistically, you only need to craft each of them once, unless they're like used in another recipe. And of course, we're gonna need a new spellbook. So let me craft that real quick. And we have our spellbook. So you can either shift right click to open it, and we have a few built-in glyphs. So here we have a form, which is how the spell will be cast, and the effect, which is self-explanatory. So for example, you can combine projectile and harm. You can give it a name. I'm just gonna name it whatever. Now it's in slot 1. And when you hold this book in hand, you can see on the bottom left corner which spell is currently active, as well as your mana count. And now let me demonstrate. Just simply aim it at your target, like this zombie, and blast. And of course, be careful not to run out of mana, because the moment you run out, you won't be able to cast any spells. And the mana reservoir is fairly small too, so realistically, you're gonna want to upgrade your spell arsenal in order to use more advanced spells. And we'll start with crafting the glyph press. And we have our glyph press. Let's place it next to the source jars maybe. So in order to use this clip press, you're gonna need first a lot of source, and second, some clay and a catalyst. So for most tier 1 glyphs, you're gonna need this magic clay, which is very simple to make. Okay, now first we're gonna craft some more magic clay. And here we have a list of all the glyphs we can craft. Now, there are a lot of irrelevant, probably forever unused glyphs, but it is still advisable to craft as many of them as you can, because according to the guidebook, as you add more glyphs, the mana capacity and regeneration will also increase. So we'll definitely need a lot more magic clay than we have now. But for now, let's try to craft as many of these glyphs as we humanly can. So here we have 12 catalysts to match with 12 magic clay. And now we're gonna start making our glyphs. First, place the magic clay in and place a slime ball in. And it will consume a little bit of source from nearby jars. And then it will turn into the corresponding glyphs. And now this whole process may take a while, so I'll see you again once I finish crafting the first 12 glyphs. So we now have 12 glyphs. Now take a look at the mana bar in the bottom left corner. Now see what happens when I start using these glyphs. Now when we open the book, we now have a lot of these spells unlocked. So now there are a lot of stuff we can do with it. Say, we can use touch and then summon steed, put it in slot number 3. And as you can see, we don't have enough mana for that yet. Now we have 280 mana and we can summon a temporary horse. Now do be aware that any mob you summon using these spells are all temporary and they will disappear after some time. So don't get too attached. Okay.
You are my sunshine.
And yeah, that's pretty much it about Ars Nouveau spellcasting. And as we progress, we will be able to unlock better ingredients and better glyphs, as well as better spellbooks. And in between episodes, I will try to craft as many of these glyphs as I can and expand my arsenal. So yeah, stay tuned for future episodes because this spellbook will soon be an inseparable part of me. Hello again, and as you can see, I'm very high up, as high as the clouds, and let's get ourselves some clouds in a bottle. So this will be necessary in a few recipes, but also it has a very unique use. You can just right click anywhere in the air and it will place a cloud block there. And you can place any block in place of the cloud block. And when you do, the cloud returns to the bottle, so it's not lost. It's pretty useful when you don't actually have a base to build from. So say if you're trying to build something in the sky or in the middle of the ocean, you may want to stockpile some clouds in a bottle. Now, I can use those clouds to craft some charged snowballs, which will then be used to craft the glyph of Amplify. So, I ran far and wide, you can see how far that was. And finally found some snow. Yeah. And since we're in a snowy region, we have a pretty decent chance of running into blizzards. So I'm guessing there's no easy way to actually see what the mob looks like. But this is what they will drop, and this will be necessary in future recipes. So let's see if we're so lucky enough to run into some more of them. As for now, we've got all our snow supply for maybe a few more seasons of this. Ouch. And we're home again. And no, I did not find any other blizzards that night. Silver lining though, got some interesting stuff. So got a few of these fruit bushes, and also found another block of waystone. Now I do believe I have a few of these, yes. So I really should make use of this more often. So here I'll have placed down a waystone called home, and I'll retrieve another waystone. And I'll place it down here. I'll just call it farm for simplicity's sake. Now I can teleport between these two very quickly. Again and again. Now of course, these waystones are not easy to make because its central ingredient requires, well, a lot of advanced crafting. So if you also place this pack and you find some of these just laying stranded in the open or situated inside villages, just take them. They'll be very useful, like I just demonstrated, though they are a little loud, so you might want to turn that off. Okay, so anyway, we were trying to craft some of this, so let's get on with it. You know the drill. Now we have 24 charged snowballs. This can also be used to call lightning bolts, so maybe I'll consider like crafting more of these so I don't have to keep firing myself in the leg like that. Let's also make some more magic clay because I ran out. Marvelous. And now let's make our glyph of amplify. And there we have it. So this glyph is pretty self-explanatory. It would just amplify the effect of whatever spell you have. So for example, I can change this one to include a lot of amplify glyphs, and then I'll save it here. And now this spell will use a lot more mana, but at the same time it's also much more powerful. So okay, I think some people will hate me for this, but and yeah, it does a lot of damage now. So I think that was 21 damage. Bye bye. So now that we have the amplified glyph unlocked, you may wanna put a lot of amplified glyphs, but then you realize that the book only allows so many glyphs into one spell. So for every spellbook, that limit will stay at 10. And so if you want to surpass this limit, you're gonna have to use different casting tools. So in this book, there are a few casting tools that you can look into. So first we have a casting wand. This one starts with 2 glyphs that are projectile and accelerate. And so you can save up to 2 slots for other glyphs. And similarly, we have the Enchanter's Bow. This Enchanter's Bow can be used with augment arrows. Then we have several different types of augment arrows. There's the Enchanter's Mirror, which applies a spell to yourself. And lastly, we have Enchanter's Shield and Enchanter's Sword. I suppose these are all self-explanatory at this point, so you can find out for yourself. Okay, so we're gathering some special wood called Archwood. There are 4 different variants. So the green one is called Flourishing Archwood. The purple one is called Vexing Archwood. And as for the other 2 variants, we have the red one called Blazing and the blue one called Cascading. Now these trees will spawn randomly in your world, and they're very, very colorful. So it's hard to miss. Just use the map and you can see there are 2 trees over here and 2 other trees over here. So yes, I will collect all of these. Also, when I was going for the trees, I got a special mob, and when I killed it, it dropped a pair of boots with a mythic affix and some pretty interesting stats. Now do be aware that these mobs are spawned by Apotheosis. So yes, Apotheosis affects your gameplay in more ways than one. Okay, and we're back to gathering wood. And yes, they do drop their sapling, so you don't have to worry about running everywhere to find them. Not like you're gonna need a ton of these woods, but you know, since we have it. Now, before we end off today's episode, let's dive a little into the utility facet of this mod. So first, we're gonna need some arcane bricks. And these are very simple to make. So let's just follow the quest line before we get to that. And we have ourselves a Magebloom seed. And we're given a Glyph of Harvest. How nice! These seeds can be grown into Magebloom flowers. And this will be useful for crafting some more stuff related to Ars Nouveau. For example, this Magebloom fiber, which can be used to make a variety of other materials, and as well as armor. Okay, I think I'll just replace any wheat plants with this one. So I just planted there. Now do be aware that this plant will not drop its seeds, so you will have to craft more seeds if you want to scale up the production. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's craft our arcane bricks. Got our bricks, and now we're gifted with 8 warp scrolls. So, the thing about these warp scrolls, one, you can use them as one-time teleportation. I really don't want to waste a scroll here, but since we got these for free, I might as well. So first, let's take a scroll, shift right click on any position, and now you can go anywhere and right click, and you're taken right back where you belong. Do be aware that it will record where you're standing and not what you're looking at. So it works like that. But of course, it's pretty inefficient. So here I want to show you another way to use these warp scrolls. So with these arcane bricks, one thing you can do is you can construct little portals. So here, let me grab a source jar, and let's just set up our portal somewhere random like here. Now the portal can be of any size, and it doesn't have to be big or small or whatever. So it can be as small as this. Now I don't actually remember if the corners have to be arcane bricks as well, but you can totally look it up inside the Word Notebook. Just search up Warp Portal in the Word Notebook, and it will tell you everything you need to prepare in order to construct the portal. So apparently we don't need the corner pieces, so I will keep it simple. Place this storage jar back down. Now what I can do is I can use this warp scroll. Say maybe I'll want to set my location here at the farm. Now I'll go back. And now in order to create my portal, I'm gonna need a lot of source in the source jar nearby. And I'm gonna need a recorded warp scroll, and I'll just throw it into the frame. And it will consume a lot of source to create the portal. But yeah, there we have it. A warp portal that will take you wherever you want in the world. And that portal can be used to transport anything. Players, mobs, items. But do be aware that they are one way. So I still have to return home by other methods. Also, another note that the warp scrolls and warp portals cannot be used to travel cross dimension. So note there is no shortcut to the nether or the end or anything like that. But you can create a shortcut to where your portals are. So yeah, maybe I will create a portal when, well, I need to go to the end or something. Maybe. And just like that, we've reached the end of episode 10 of Enigmatica 6 Expert. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and consider dropping a like if you enjoyed what you saw. And I will see you all again very soon. Until then, take care.